What other book? Jim Burr.
First, potato chips. We go from war to potato chips. Everybody likes potato chips, popcorn. It's a Chester County company, and I was asked to work with the family to do, basically, it turned into a biography of Jim Burr, and I spent many hours with Mr. Burr and Mr. Sir, just really nice people. But the family especially wanted the story of their father, the founder of First Potato Chips, and all the good that he did for the community. And he was a pretty modest guy. And it's a great story. I like to call it a really true life Horatio Alger story. Somebody starts with nothing and becomes famous and wealthy, and that's exactly what happened with Jim Burr. He grew up on a farm in Lancaster County. He was a Mennonite, did not have a college, did not have a high school education, didn't know anything about potato chips, and wanted to get off the family farm because he was dealing with eggs and chickens the whole day, and he wanted something else. Looked through the newspaper, found an ad for Verna's potato chips being sold. He borrowed $1,750, didn't know anything about potato chips. He got a beat-up truck, a kettle for the chips, and a potato peeler. And from that, it's now the international company, Burr's Potato Chips. That's, you know, it's one of the top independent snack food companies in the United States. They're always Frito-Lay just about every day is trying to buy him out. They won't do it. And he tells his story really through, he's a Mennonite, he was a great believer. He just died in April, saw the manuscript of the book, but not the finished book, and he really liked it. But he really stuck to his values, the Mennonites coming up. And he really liked the book of Psalms. And if you can imagine this, one time he thought Washington really needed a little help. So he got permission to reprint that book, and he called it Chips of Wisdom. And he sent it to Washington, to every member of Congress and the president. And through this book, I really just kind of talk about how he lived his beliefs and how he wanted to treat everybody and wanted them treated the same way. His word was his honor. He never bought something that he couldn't pay for or pay back. And how he treated his employees. And he's one of the first with profit-sharing plans. And you know, from almost nothing, how he really grew this. It's really a good, inspirational story. You know, it's a good story, and you know, it's just a really nice one. So
when's it coming out?
Actually, it came out in August. You can get it. It's called Life with Flavor. It's published by Barricade Books of Port Lee, New Jersey.
You should have brought some.
Next time.
Sign them.
Actually, I think I have some. I might have a couple in the car. Yeah, if you're an author, you should always have books in your car. I was accused of selling them out of my trunk. That's not true. I keep them on the back seat. It's there. But yeah, it was just such a nice, uplifting story with it. And so I do all kind of, people say, you know, you're kind of schizophrenic. And I've had 3 books with Barricade Books. One was the Jim Burr. One was first one was true crime on the Johnston brothers, mass murderers. There was a movie at Close Range, Sean Penn, Christopher Walken a few years ago. My book is actually what happened, not the Hollywood version. And I was a newspaper reporter. I covered it, spent a couple hours in a jail cell with mass murderers. That's a good way to start the book. And my other one is actually a sports book with them. It's on Richie Ashburn, the Phillies rating. And that was just all circumstance, but that's a great story about Richie and how he befriended a young fan who years later turned around and helped a campaign called Why the Hall Knot that helped Richie to get into the Hall of Fame, and that's actually the title of the book. So I like different genres, but it's all kind of ties back to those people stories. I love interesting people. So I can stand for 3 hours, but I'll turn the mic over to somebody else.